Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos sends a cable of condolences to His Excellency the President of Indonesia on the victims of the tsunami in the Sunda Strait. The Civil Service Council reviews regulation of the occupational status of some employees and their experience of the National Programme for Leadership and Competitiveness when choosing competencies. And the third version of the Government Competencies Programme is launched. Those were the headlines. Now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said sent a cable of condolences to His Excellency President Joko Widodo of Indonesia on the victims of the tsunami that struck along the rim of the Sunda Strait. In the cable, His Majesty the Sultan expressed his sincere condolences and sympathy to His Excellency and the friendly Indonesian people, wishing the injured speedy recovery. The Civil Service Council reviewed in its meeting today requests from a number of governmental units to regulate the occupational status of some employees' categories in line with their work specialisation, in addition to the responsibilities and duties of their jobs. The meeting also discussed the suggestion to create a platform for a code of conduct for civil employees, in addition to reviewing requests from some governmental units for their employees who are on deputation abroad to combine their basic salary with the remuneration they receive from the establishments they are working with. The Council also reviewed a visual show related to the experience of the National Programme for Leadership and Competitiveness in the aspects of chosen competencies at high administrative levels in bodies subjected to the civil service law. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Syed Khalid bin Halal Al Wasaidi, Minister of the Diwan of Royal Court, Chairman of the Civil Service Council. More than 100 teams and 1,500 male and female shooters took part in the Royal Oman Police Annual Shooting Competition 2018. The six-day competition was held at the new shooting ground at Sultan Qaboos Academy for Police Sciences and was concluded today. The activities of the conclusion ceremony were presided over by His Excellency General Sultan bin Mohammed Al Nomani, Minister of Royal Office. The concluding event started by the arrival of the chief guest, then Royal Oman Police personnel gave a military salute to the chief guest. After that, the plates shooting competition started for male and female officers as well as cadet officers. The shooters used M16 multi-firing rifles. They also used pistols to shoot fixed targets. At the end of the competition, the chief guest handed over awards to the toppers. The Shura Council approved the report of Health and Environmental Committee on project of regulating practising professions of medicine and assistant medical professions transferred from the government and decided to forward it to the State Council. The Council also discussed their desire of preparing a programme and films on enhancing national identity for children and establishing an endowment fund for Sultan Qaboos University. The Council also reviewed the reply of the Council of Ministers on establishing units specialised for measuring the performance of completion and quality assurance in governmental bodies and its reliance on establishing a government centre specialised in physiotherapy and health rehabilitation, in addition to the reply on the study of the Shura Council related to private investment in the health sector. The members of the Council reviewed procedures of General Secretariat of Taxation to enhance the taxation commitments by coordination with a number of government units to check the obligation of the majority of taxable persons to register and activate the field inventory, besides imposing fees on non-compliance with the tax returns. The meeting also reviewed a number of projects and agreements transferred from the government. It was chaired by His Excellency Khalid bin Halal Al Mawali, Chairman of the Council. The Ministry of Civil Service launched today the third version of the Government Competencies Programme organised by the Ministry of Civil Service in cooperation with the Institute of Public Administration and Competence HR Company. 44 Director Generals and their equivalents participated in the programme, which aims to develop the participants' performance and their leadership skills. The inauguration ceremony was held under the auspices of His Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Omar Al Mahoun, Minister of Civil Service. Still to come in our news bulletin. Austria celebrates 200 years of the beloved carol Silent Night. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. The Institute of Capability Development held a ceremony to mark the graduation of 80 specialists at the Diwan of Royal Court and other governmental establishments. The graduation comes within the programme of developing specialist skills at the Diwan of Royal Court. The programme, which was implemented in cooperation with Enjaz Development Corporation, was designed to provide the participants with the skills required to strengthen administrative performance at the government units. The programme targets senior specialists at the Diwan of Royal Court and other government units in order to provide them with administrative and consultative skills in various work fields. His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Nasser Al Bakri, Minister of Manpower, received Her Excellency Madeline Cyrus Castico, Minister of Labour, Empowerment, Elderly, Youth, Women and Children in Zanzibar. During the meeting, they discussed aspects of cooperation and coordination in the business field, as well as exchanging expertise between both countries. Sultan Qaboos University inaugurated an application for smart devices within the framework of continuation of its electronic services in the field of institutional contact. The application will provide a number of services, such as shedding light on the news, activities and events of the university in both Arabic and English languages. The university also launched the Electronic Library Project, a media portal which will enable researchers and students to gather information more efficiently. The committee of the Entrepreneurship Award, Riada Award, held its first meeting of the year in order to discuss the new developments of the award in its fourth edition. The meeting also discussed the organisational chart of the award and its stages, which will be announced by the beginning of March 2019. The award aims to strengthen entrepreneurship culture, encourage excellence and the ability to compete and innovate, develop the capacity and performance of the establishments, honour personalities and establishments that support entrepreneurship, and provide a suitable environment to build social networking. The exchange rate index of the Omani Rial increased by 4.2% by the end of October 2018, recording 106 points compared to the same period in 2017. The data issued by the National Centre for Statistics and Information showed that the total cash in circulation by the end of October 2018 reached more than 1.5 billion Omani Rials, with a decrease of 2.1% compared to the same period in 2017. The Central Bank of Oman revealed that the narrow money supply increased by 0.8% to reach around 5 billion Omani Rials by the end of September 2018. Meanwhile, quasi-money increased by 3.4% in the same period. The broad money supply witnessed a growth of 2.6% to reach 16.5 billion Omani Rials by the end of September 2018. The number of individual institutions and commercial companies which renewed and cancelled their expired commercial records since January until last November reached 96,048 through the Invest Easy e-portal. The Ministry of Commerce and Industry called owners of commercial registry, either individual or commercial companies, to accelerate the regulating process to update their commercial records until December 2016 and earlier, and the last date to do that is by the end of December 2018. When Silent Night was born in Austria 200 years ago, those present had little idea that the Christmas carol would one day be sung the world over, including by Miley Cyrus and some Swedish goats. Here is a report.
Evoking the calm of a winter night, Silent Night is sung at Christmas all over the world, but nowhere with as much pride as in the Salzburg region of Western Austria.
I'm afraid that people in America or France or other countries do not really know where this song was performed the first time. They know the song, but people do not know where it comes from.
The song was written here 200 years ago. Priest Joseph Mohr's lyrics were put to music by his friend Franz Xaver Gruber, the start of a tradition that continues with gusto today.
Stille Nacht, heilige Nacht.
Created at a time of war and hardship in Europe, the carol was first performed on Christmas Eve.
People were very poor, they lost their employment and they had to fight to survive. It describes also that the people should be good to one another, that they should forgive and that live together, and that they should try to understand one another.
Silent Night has been translated into more than 300 languages and recorded by singers from many music genres, from Bing Crosby to Miley Cyrus and even heavy metal groups. But one of the most unusual versions could be this one from Sweden, performed by goats.
Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over most of the governorates, with chances of low clouds late at night and early morning over the governorate of South Sharqiya. Clear to partly cloudy skies are expected over the coast of the Arabian Sea. Winds will be northwesterly to westerly, light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 metres. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos sends a cable of condolences to His Excellency the President of Indonesia on the victims of the tsunami in the Sunda Strait. The Civil Service Council reviews regulation of the occupational status of some employees and their experience of the National Programme for Leadership and Competitiveness when choosing competencies. And the third version of the Government Competencies Programme is launched. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.